with everything else, the train crash that happened, the Amtrak. Um, when bad things have happened, it's always something to do with Trump. And the media has no real answers, but it's Republicans or Trump. Any gun tragedy, it's always Trump's fault. Trump did this. How is it Trump's fault? Instead of actually reporting on the story and what could have been or what happens or how we could prevent things, it's always a puzzle to them. It's like, okay, we know it's Trump's fault. Now let's work it out on the air how it was Trump's fault. You know, when you reach too hard for your enemies, you end up looking like a fool. And then when they do something wrong, nobody's going to believe it because you've cried wolf. You know, I mean, that's abandoning any sense of perspective. Another Donald Trump Jr. Acknowledged accepting a meeting with a sketchy Russian lawyer who had dirt on Hillary Clinton. And everyone was saying in the media, treason. Now, actually, it's common, just like any other person would have a meeting if they could be told some information. They'd love to do it. They love to find out any dirt. I mean, you saw what the Hillary Clinton campaign was doing with Obama. They were actually wiretapping. So that would actually be treason because it was against an American citizen. Very illegal. But, you know, what else? I mean, after months, we learned that actually it was the fake GPS fusion dossier against Trump that they made up that started this investigation. Yet they're going to talk about Donald Trump. And during that meeting, too, you had good old Adam Schiff coming out every time, and all of a sudden CNN knew what was said in that meeting, or a bad version of it, or the wrong date on something. You know, where were they getting these ideas from? Has CNN become a bastion of smart news media? I don't think so. I think they were being handed stuff. And so nobody cared that their credibility was smashed more. It was just people just trying to get another attack, another lie. They did this, they did that. It's kind of like when you go to a bar and they have the Velcro thing and you jump on it. They just keep on jumping on the wall till something sticks. And that's what it is. You know, you had reporters, of course, in 2017, the beginning of 2017, you had the Slobnobberfest of everybody with Obama on his way out. The greatest president, the most elegant president, the most positive president in the world. And everybody that had any common sense knows better. There's nobody who bashed America more in his presidency than Barack Obama. And as you've learned now, there's nobody that was actually more anti-American than Barack Obama. And you can say that Trump is not refined and says things that are bad, and George Bush did this, and whatever you want to say, that those things could be true. But what we do know about Obama is what you don't know about Obama. And those are the things that are worse. It's like when you catch a shoplifter. And, oh, it was my first time. I've never shoplifted before. Yeah, it's probably their 20th time. Sorry, every shoplifter I've ever caught, it was their first time, and they'll never do it again. But you know the real truth of it all is they've done it many other times. And that's what I'm saying there is what you know about Obama that's bad is nothing compared to what you don't know about Obama. You see every month there's something new coming out that he did. And if you think you're going to get to the bottom of it anytime soon, no, it's going to be years and years and years. Your children are going to be the ones that are actually going to find out the truth of how nasty and sick that he was. Not only of stories we will talk about that he's done, but things that you can't fathom. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. My name is Ben Shannerman, host of the Reality Check. We'll have one more segment where we'll talk a little bit about different people and different things and certain things. I'll give you some of something and some of nothing. You're listening to Reality Check on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
It's the holidays here at Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, and we're giving away Michael Savage's new book, God, Faith, and Reason, to one caller in the morning during the Laura Ingraham Show and one lucky caller in the evening during the Michael Savage Show. For your chance to win, call 602-277-5369 during the shows. The giveaway starts December 18th and runs through the 21st.
Common sense. Independent Talk. 1100 KFNX. The true voice of Arizona. Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
Veterans face treacherous situations filled with peril while serving our country. Many veterans come home physically injured, suffering with PTSD, have traumatic brain injuries or other ailments. Treatment is available, but we need your help. Help Heal Veterans, with the support of generous citizens like you, improves veterans' lives on a daily basis across the United States. For over 45 years, Help Heal Veterans has provided over 30 million therapeutic art kits and craft projects to these critically injured veterans, at no charge to them. Doctors, therapists, and brain injury experts recommend this type of therapy. Since the beginning of World War I, over 100 years ago, art and craft therapy has proven to improve gross motor skills, improve memory, and lessen anger issues in healing veterans. To volunteer or learn more, visit healvets.org. Help a veteran. Visit healvets.org.
Daddy, what is God's real name?
God is a title. His proper name is Yahweh.
You'll find it restored in the proper name version of the King James Bible. Through his name, your prayers are answered. With updated English, it is much easier to understand. End the confusion about which God is God.
Where can you get us one, Daddy?
Get this special offer now at propernamebible.com. propernamebible.com.
Join the Dr. Kent Show with host Dr. John Taylor Kent to learn about biblical truth and history, providing an understanding of how and why the world is the way it is. He exposes the truths of war and brainwashing in today's society. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX, Sundays at 10:30 a.m.
This message is brought to you by the Bridge to Hope. Wouldn't it be nice if you could decide how a portion of your Arizona state tax dollars were spent? Well, if you take advantage of the Arizona Charitable Tax Credit, you can do just that. The Bridge to Hope is an Arizona-based 501c3. The Bridge to Hope provides housing, job training, and the personal needs of homeless single mothers and their children who are in our program. We partner with local churches who help us in this great work. For more information, visit be2hope.org/donate to learn how you can help a family in need and get a tax credit while doing a good deed.
The Del Walmsley Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Why do I bother? Because what I want you to understand is you can do something about your situation, where you are, what you can do, how you can isolate and insulate yourself from all of this political and financial garbage that goes on out there.
The Del Walmsley Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Everything you need to know about finance and real estate. For more information, mypassiveincomesystem.com. mypassiveincomesystem.com.
You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to outer space. Please stand by.
Welcome back to the Reality Check. Ben Shannerman, your host here, guiding you through this last segment on Tuesday. We're on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Now, we had the local, of course, police officer that got acquitted in Mesa. I'm sure most of you guys saw the video by now. He had his suspect crawling along the hallway of a hotel and just pretty much set this guy up for almost no other option but to be shot. I mean, I'm for the police and a lot of things, but there were multiple police officers there. I mean, it was just, this one could have been avoided. And now we have an almost more grotesque case. A Minnesota prosecutor says that he doesn't have enough evidence to charge a Minneapolis police officer who killed an unarmed Australian woman earlier this year. Now, if you don't remember the case, it was a lady, Miss Damon. She had called 911 to report a possible sexual assault. So she approaches the squad car. She was in her pajamas, I believe. And there were two officers in the car. And she approached the driver's side door. And the guy from the passenger seat fired the gun across his partner and ends up shooting her. I mean, holy cow. He shot across another officer. He could have almost killed his partner. And yet, they say there's not enough evidence to charge. this is where people lose faith in the police. I mean, it's not even the police. It's the fact of, are they going to be held accountable? And that's it. We know no matter what it is, from a grocery store manager to a toilet bowl cleaner to, a DJ, that's the DJ of a roller rink, to the police, to the firefighter. We know that there's always going to be bad people in any profession. Any profession you are in, there's a group of people that are bad. The majority of people in America are good. The majority of people in most professions are good. But there's always that slight element of bad people in any profession. And we have checks and balances, especially more magnified in important areas like police work or our government, as you see in the FBI. We need to keep control, and you need to have people, the on-watchers, the investigators, make sure stuff like this, if somebody is like that, wrongdoing, gets punished. Even for some negligence, something this officer should be charged with. So now we know Hillary Clinton is part of a crime family that has left a trail of dozens of dead bodies in its bloodthirsty pursuit of power. According to none other than Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson told the audience that in Las Vegas, he was prepping up. He has that on-tour comedy show, and he said Hillary Clinton is America's most prolific serial killer, bar none. Manson family ain't nothing compared to the Clinton family, Tyson said. Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, please, that's kiddie stuff, Tyson said, pointing out Manson family only murdered 4 people, while Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy accounted for 35 and 33 deaths. According to the 51-year-old former heavyweight champion who was warming up, like I said, for his next leg of his Undisputed Truth 2 tour, speaking at a small show in Vegas, these deaths tallies pale in comparison to the number of victims who have met their maker at the hands of Hillary Clinton. She murdered her very good friend, Vince Foster. She deliberately on purpose let Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans die in Benghazi. Do you know how many of her personal bodyguard have died deaths prematurely? 12. 12 young men in close proximity to the Clintons have died prematurely. This information's all out there. You can look this stuff up for yourself. All of these bodyguards are indeed dead, and it might all just be a tragic coincidence. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be on their list of associates, Tyson said. Before encouraging audience members to Google strange deaths surrounding the Clintons. People in 100 years from now are going to look back at us and scratch their heads saying, really, guys? Really? You couldn't see what was right before your eyes? How many more witnesses do we need to commit suicide by 2 bullets to the back of the head just before they're about to testify against the Clintons? Before we start to say, hey, something smells fishy. Accusing Hillary Clinton of literally getting away with murder, Tyson said. Sad but true thing is we'll never get justice for her. We the people will never see justice served. She's above the law of the land. My friends, I will tell you, I agree 100% with what Mike Tyson said. She is above the law of the land. Now, to a lesser extent, a guy who's above the law of the land, it seems, one Seattle Seahawk, Michael Bennett. Remember the fraudulent claims he made against the Las Vegas police, which were on videotape? Here's Michael Bennett the other week, cheap shot at the end of a game, rolling up on somebody's knees when it was just a kneel down. You figure Mr. Michael Bennett, who loves to take part in the kneel down himself before the game, didn't want to take part of the kneel down at the end of the game, and he tried to roll up on somebody's knees. And Michael Bennett faced no discipline, no games suspended, no fines, but I guess you could say God took care of that this weekend. If you saw the bloodbath on the field when the Rams totally destroyed the Seahawks, maybe that was our payback. But it would have been nice to see him get punished like he should have been. Sorry. But now the New York Times reported this week that the FBI found a Loretta Lynch email that was hacked by Russian hackers. The email said to contain assurances by Lynch that she would do everything to prevent Hillary Clinton from facing criminal charges. Now, whether that story is true or not, we won't know, but by her actions, they speak for that. And of course, how they're trying to hide all the communication from the tarmac meeting right here in Arizona from good old Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. You know, anybody else would be put in jail or at least charged with something for, you know, their little meeting. But hey, you know what? And then we heard the news this week. Good old Chris Matthews got to keep his job and the women were paid to go away. But I'm sure now the question would be, I guess, for Chris Matthews and his harassment, and I think he's trying to say it wasn't sexual harassment, it was just regular harassment, or as Whoopi Goldberg would say, it's harassment, but not harassment. I'm not really sure about that. But my question would be in the Chris Matthews case, who got the thrill up their leg? Was it them or was it you? I'm sure everybody's seen too. Of course, my audience is well educated, smart, and well in tune that the Obama administration helped undermine the largest material support scheme of terror operations in world history. Instead of protecting America against drugs coming into the country, they actually let Hezbollah help bring in drugs with the help of Mexican cartels because they didn't want to get Iran mad. And they wouldn't want the Iran deal to be in jeopardy. Now, the Iran deal, we gave up cash. We let them continue their nuclear program. We're not checking their nuclear program. We let them run drugs across the country. And every week we're finding out something more we did for them. And what actually did we get in return? I don't think it's a deal if we don't get anything. Like, for instance, when the Yankees got Stanton for Castro and some minor leaguers, that's a deal. You might consider it a ripoff, and the Yankees ripped him off, but it was a deal because they got something in return. They can trade Castro. They got some money relief. They got something in return. The Iran, it's not a deal. We didn't get anything in return. We actually gave them everything they want, and we paid them to take it. I know this is what you want, and we're going to give you money to take it on top of that. I mean, this is kind of like when I worked at the grocery store, their shoplifter policy. When the shoplifter would steal something, you were supposed to shake their hand on the way out, ask them if they wanted a receipt, and ask them if they wanted help to their car. That's kind of what we have. That's not a deal. That's called charity. What we did with Iran is charity and not a deal. It's a disgrace to America. It's a disgrace to the world. My name's Ben Shannerman, host of the Reality Check, and I will be with you, and my guest host will be with you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. We're on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Have a Merry Christmas.